Hello everyone, and welcome back to my glorious Soviet space program. In the last episode, we achieved orbit, and boy did we ever achieve orbit, because we achieved a high orbit with a Geiger counter and got oodles and oodles and oodles of money. So now we're crunching along on some research to get actually good rocket parts. Always a problem. Let's see. Still can't afford that. That will give us our first practical upper stage. Bunch of RD-107 and 8 upgrades. Alright, I want to check some times. So it costs $475, which makes sense because let's see, how much is this going to cost? It's 150 to go up to 150 tons. It's 500. So it's 250. So we have to pay for, if we upgrade in sequence, it's 150 and then 250. So that's 169 plus 346. Alright, so it's plausible that it's actually faster to just build a level 4 pad than to upgrade a level 2 pad twice. Alright, well, we know we want to... Oh, right, I have an upgrade point. Yes, I do. And that will make things slightly... Alright, so we know we want to do this. That's not an awful lot of money, is it? And pretty sure I haven't upgraded the tracking station yet. Nope. Not a lot of money. Nah. We can do this. But the other contracts we kind of can't do very easily. Can't do that yet. That would be challenging. Hey, Tayson. So, atmospheric analysis satellite. Let's see exactly what this requires. Alright, it does not require a solar panel. It does not require anything funky. Alright, that looks about right. Alright, we'll build one of you. Okay. Tyson, no, I did first orbit off that, which is basically a crappier Cosmos 1, using the R5 first stage instead of the actual what was it, R12, R13 first stage, or R14 even. I can't remember what Cosmos used. And then using a cluster of liquid kick motors instead of an actual upper stage, because we don't have any real upper stages yet. All right, let's. Oh, and what was the inclination requirement? I think above 45 degrees. No, it doesn't have an inclination requirement. Interesting. I thought it had like a 45-degree inclination requirement. Oh, shoot. I was stupid. I forgot that I got all that money and it didn't do anything. So we just lost a whole bunch of days. Oh, shoot. That's bad. That's actually quite bad. Guess we'll launch this, and then we'll upgrade that pad. Yeah, Tyson, I agree with you that it's not really feasible to wait for R7 for orbit on moderate with upgrading the tracking station too. Like, there just isn't enough cash. I'd hope there would be, but basically the way we have to solve that, I think, is by increasing payouts on contracts when you launch from high inclination sites. All right, that will get us to high enough. Ah, failure. What did we lose? Performance loss. Well, we are probably not going to space today. What is its specific impulse now? Yeah, halved. So we lost about 1 kilometer per second of delta V. I doubt we'll make orbit. Nope. All right. Well, I guess we got to launch another one. Don't really see what other choice we have. And Let's see. Right. So, given what we have to work with, I think I'm going to have to make a guided second stage using those arrow bees. And that's going to be real fun. And we'll have to go to the moon on 60 tons. Because we just don't have a early upper stage option, other than that horrifically unreliable Scud engine. See, we unlocked this thing, and it would otherwise be fine as a second stage, but it just has such horrific reliability. Like, okay, it goes from 530 seconds to 20 minutes. Whereas let's find the engine, what we got. Well, actually, I'll just look at the it's in here somewhere. What is this sorted by, even? It's sort of not. Alright, well, let's look at the arrow B option. Oh, interesting. The engine is... Alright, so that engine I was poo-pooing actually has better reliability than the XASR. Interesting. Alright, so maybe we will have a viable second stage after all. It's $20 million to unlock it, but, like, eh. And that will certainly let us go to the moon. Yeah, let's look at redesigning this for that. I usually do domes, but I'm sort of not bothering this time. That's another option. That's an interesting option. It has no gimbal. Wait, that's the pressure-fed version? It's not the pump-fed version? Interesting. I thought we had the pump-fed version. Oh. Alright, well, I guess we'll use this. What is its rated burn time? 1 minute, 35 seconds. Alright. Alright, that's stupendously ugly, so we're going to actually add some tank domes. Alright, so we know the minimum diameter is 1.6630. Okay. Common bulkhead for the win. And put an interstage under this. Happily, it uses jet vanes, so we don't have to worry about roll control. Okay, let's fix the fairings. We're so gonna hot stage. Let's put 2 seps on here. It will decrease our delta V slightly, but that's okay. Now, conic. And extra height. Zoom in. All right, that looks about right. All right, now we have quite a bit of delta V. Not enough. To make it fit inside the fairing base, yeah. Huh, only 37 tons. I expected us to be heavier. Well, that's fine. So we gotta tool these things. The nice thing is, I think, that we can now get away with doing this. Yes. Yes, and that will lead to much less risky launches. Less delta V, but less risky launches. All right, anyway, let's tool this. And that should be everything except, yep. Exactly what I expected. Because those are cheap. All right. So let's R&D this thing. 81 data. Times 85 days. That's definitely 2,500. All right, and we'll launch this thing instead of that thing. All right, this gives me confidence that once we unlock the better engines and basically, if we go to tank 3 on here and a really light probe, we'll get a TLI stage out of it. This, if we go to tank 3, we'll get 4 kmsec easily, which means we only need 5 kmsec on the booster, which we can do with an RD-108. So that will give us a lunar capable LV that only needs the 60-ton pad. So that's fine. All right. Let's do this. So it will be a little while yet before we have an actually proper R7. Given that, let's go ahead and invest this. And we'll use the proceeds from these contracts to actually Go to the moon. Oh, oops, I think I did this wrong again. So, what's our deadline? May 25th, 1956. All right, not much shy of 2 years. All right. We'll have a spare. Oops. What? Oh, I'm on the wrong pad, that's why. Okay. It's all loaded up. Final staging check. That's correct. All right, so Lamont has promised me that auto stage can be turned off. So we're going to do this with PVG. Our target perigee I think should be 250. I'm guessing all these things, by the way. Like, I have no idea what I should put in these given. All right, and what does PVG claim? 275, 647. So let's actually put these numbers in. It thinks we don't have enough delta V. That seems weird. I would have thought we would have enough delta V. It's not adding a coast, which is pretty weird to me. And I presume that's why. So let's fly it, and I'm going to revert if it does anything weird. And we'll see what kind of apogee it hits on the first two stages. And then we'll manually disengage and coast. Right. Alright, supposedly our second stage engine is already more reliable than the Araby. So we'll see how this goes. Fairly low dynamic pressure to launch. Max Q is only 36 kilopascals. We are in guidance. We'll stop at stage just in case that doesn't work. Okay, I'm going to turn auto stage off. I'm going to manually separate the fairings. Alright, why aren't we pitching down more? We only need 275. Failure! Because of course we got a failure. And of course it was a performance loss, it wasn't something less benign. And a double failure. That was sort of weird. Don't really understand why we got 2 failures in a row despite being within the rated burn time. And the MTBF being better than the XASR. CMAV, no, I understand why it overshoots the PE. It overshoots the PE because it knows it has this much time left to reach insertion. It's just it's not adding a coast when it should add a coast, and I don't understand why it's not adding a coast. All right, let's try that launch with saner numbers. There will be 240. Yeah, it always overshoots the PE. So before I launch this again, let me quickly talk a little bit about how this guidance works. So assuming you can't coast, which let's just assume for the sake of argument that you can't coast. Yeah, it's not adding a coast. I don't know why. So let's assume you can't coast. So look at the total burn time of this launch vehicle. 2 minutes 15 seconds, 1 minute 41 seconds, 43 seconds. Well, 44, whatever. So let's round it out such that this is 2 minutes 30, this is 2 minutes 15, so that's 4 minutes and 45 seconds. What that means, if we have 4 minutes and 45 seconds of burn time, is that if we set perigee 240, we have to be at 240 kilometers in 4 minutes and 45 seconds. To do that, given these thrust to weight ratios, that means that we have to burn to a really high initial apogee, and we start going up, 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 and then so that we get to that altitude in time, and then we start burning down, 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 down to kill off the excess vertical velocity such that we hit zero vertical velocity at that altitude. In effect, so if you know anything about torch ships and the kind of trajectories they fly, where you burn towards a thing and you get halfway there and you flip around and you burn to decelerate, a brachistochrone trajectory. That's kind of what we're doing to get to altitude. It's just we're also burning horizontal, because we have to burn up to build enough velocity so then we can flip around and burn down such that we reach our target at zero velocity, if we're thinking in only one dimension. So that's why this number always goes crazy, because that doesn't count the fact that we'll be burning down, and that doesn't count the fact that we need to get to our target in the time we have. So that's how the guidance works, and that's why you always see this climbing well above what your target is, and then you see the stage actually burning with negative pitch to kill off the excess vertical velocity over here. And as soon as we actually have an R7 to launch, you'll see that in action, and I'll talk about it then. But yeah, that's the challenge. The nice thing, the counterintuitively nice thing about long burn times is that on the one hand you have way more gravity losses, but on the other hand you have more time before insertion, which means you don't have to get so much vertical velocity early, and you don't have to burn negatively. So what you lose in gravity losses, you to some extent gain back in fewer steering losses. Now, if you go too far, if you have too long a burn time, then you have to worry about overlofting, and then you have to kill off negative vertical velocity in insertion. All right, so let's do this again. I've changed that. Auto staged back on. Let's go. And I think what PVG is saying, based on the omit coast being, it's still not having a coast, is that the gravity losses we would take during the coast are worse than the steering losses we would take by burning up fast and then not coasting. Because remember, even though it seems to be that burning negative pitch is really, really bad, it turns out that gravity losses are way worse than you think. And sometimes it makes a lot of sense to burn up really fast and down really fast just to mean that you make orbit faster and accept the steering losses involved. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, I mean, Silverbird basically verifies it because cost to orbit is basically a function of time to orbit, and steering losses are fairly minimal. I mean, beyond a certain point. Like, if it was 2 minutes to orbit, then you'd have a hell of a lot of steering losses. But all right, let's turn auto stage off. How's this going? This is going better. Okay, and now we basically just want to burn horizontal. Yeah, I probably should have just used classic ascent on this. Okay. We shall see. The Russians may not have had PVG that early, i.e. they didn't have on-booster guidance, but they had radio command guidance, and they had really good mathematicians. So they effectively had non-real-time PVG. I guess maybe I should have kept that other Araby stage, because we're kind of short on Delta V. Oh, oops, I was going to... Shoot, yeah, I was going to go earlier than this. All right, let's go. Yeah, shoot. Oh, well. I was going to go at about 280. All right. That is one completed contract. Well, it will be as soon as I actually transmit the things. Yeah, so short answer, don't use PVG with kick stages because it's just a pain. I mostly just wanted it to nail the hot staging. Although apparently Lamont was saying that if you turn on auto staging elsewhere, it will still auto stage correctly. So I don't have to use PVG to get that nice hot staging behavior. All right. Contract complete. Hey, NorCal Planner. All right. So happily we don't need that anymore. Excuse me. Is there anything else we could have done? 75 liters in an SM1 to those parameters. I don't think we have the LV for that. We could try to do this, but I don't think we have the delta V for this, so we'd have to add more kick stages. And we'd have to add a bit of RCS fine-tuning to try to make that work. This requires even more. This requires only 17 liters, but it has a heck of an eccentricity requirement. We could take this on, I guess. Although it's of course harder with out solids because you have to ullage. All right, so mostly we just want some rocket engines. So let's look again if there's anything we think we can do in 45 days. Not really. Like, this is the only thing that I have a prayer of doing, and it would be super hard. Yeah, because we did not have 300 to 400 meters per second to spare on that launch we just did, which is what we need for this. Yeah, I think we'll just wait. Our VAB will be idle for 45 days. I mean, I guess notionally we could fly that supersonic contract or something, but not really. All right. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm definitely an idiot. I changed my mind. Going to load that right the heck back up. Because we're going to fly some booster development flights with that upper stage. And let's see how long this tank is. It is 12.018 meters. No, actually we want we want the tank on the earlier thing, which is this. And it is 6 meters long. Bottom 1.8, length 6 meters. One of you. And we're going to overburn it because who cares? And if we get a failure, that's just more data for us. All right. We still have a decent lift-off thrust-weight ratio. Okay. So this is a this is a very Soviet-looking thing. Yep, definitely recommend RP1 Master. All right, so the other nice thing is that this thing is super fast to build. So we can fly 3 of them, and it's pretty cheap. So, not even going to bother to add the boat tail. All right, so let's build a few of those. No, we're on 1.3.1, but you can get 1.3.1, and you should, because that's the version that RSS and everything else supports. All right, so, and we'll launch them off the first pad. So we're basically test firing a bunch of scuds. Oh, I didn't set up range safety. Well. Oh well. Note that we have no launch clamps, no nothing. So as soon as we get above 1.0 TWR, we're going to lift off. I am going to leave that pinned so I can activate range safety when needed. Why are we not lifting off? Oh, wait, what's going on here? What the heck is going on here? How are we stuck to the pad? We're getting data, so I kind of don't care. But somehow KSP stuck us to the pad. Oh, we had a failure. I didn't notice we had a failure. Yeah, we had a loss of thrust, so our TWR is actually... Yeah, that's why. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, the sound didn't sound any different. I usually go by the sound. Yeah, we're going to get a lot of data. And also, we're probably going to recover this thing. So we got all the benefits of a static fire without it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we're going to have to range safety this for sure. That was super fast. All right, so we got some data. That was pretty hilarious. All right, let's do another of these. That's still 32 days away. At least they're dirt cheap. They're basically about $500,000-$600,000 a flight. Totally worth it. Why not? We'll do a night launch. I got a question about the sounds I'm using. For those of you wondering, it's rocket sound enhancement. It was on CCAN. I forgot who recommended it. Somebody on the Discord recommended it to me, so I got it. All right, so have this ready to do range safety when needed. Let's try taking off again. All right, this time it worked. At least we're heading out over the water. And getting much good data from this launch. Oh, we're going to go to space. Interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense that we would. Um, given that we have basically no payload. Huh. It failed exactly the second it ran out of propellant. That's pretty hilarious. Okay, a nice 250-kilometer apogee, but we're range safety early. All right, so we're at 7340 DU, so we might get up to 10K before the first lunar flight. Kablooey. Yes, that was a perfect flight because of the failure. Had it not failed, we would have missed out on some data. All right, so there's one more of these to go. I want to fly this one in the day. I really should get early bird. Let's go. I guess I should have added even more propellant so it would be guaranteed to fail. The only thing that could be better is if we suffered a loss of thrust at some point, so we had an even longer burn time. It's a scud. It's a very shapely scud. No failures. Alas. Kind of wanted a failure. But it's now decently reliable. Okay, the pad gets reconditioned. We get rocketry. All right, 102 days until we get that. 148, 46 until we get the actual comms we'll need for the lunar mission. So we'll have time for, I presume, a test flight or two to Earth orbit before we actually go to the moon. All right, let's see how much money it costs to unlock one of these things. Wait, what? It's 150? I thought it was 150 without the RD-103. Uh-oh. Well, I guess we're taking the lunar orbit contract. Which sort of sucks because then we won't get any money for any test flights we fly before that. But I don't really see what else we can do to get the money to do that. I mean, like we could... Oh, no, I know what we do. We take this. No, that only takes us to 140, not... Yep. All right, so we have to do that. Which I was hoping to save to spend on a pad, but we'll have to upgrade the pad with the proceeds from the other contracts once we complete them. All right, RD-108. It's actually not that far off 1.8 meters. So we could use our booster development thing to test it. Its current reliability is already quite a bit better than everything else we've flown. That's nice. I like that part. Mostly because its rated burn time is quite high. So 3171. Let's switch to something slightly lower performance and see what happens to reliability. 3478. How long a burn time is that? Not much. So let's try 12 meters. Oh, but it was 12 meters on tank 2. That's why. This is going to be expensive. All right, so we're looking at about 2.5 million to R&D it up. That's a funny looking thing. That looks so much like Thor Abel. Oh my goodness. That looks very much like Thor Abel. Still pretty cheap. could replace it with a tank too, and have that be tooled, and that would be pretty cheap. Don't need any of these things. Oops, wrong thing. All right. All right. We have another test rocket. This one is a bit more expensive. It takes 41 days. But it is no, you can't, because you need those little outcroppings to deal with the verniers there. So this is a decent testing contraption. It should all be tooled. Yes, it is. All right, and let's increase its stability. That's -11, and that's minus, yeah, all right. So this will burn out first, and then this, and then that. Keep it aerodynamically stable. So the question is, do we want to pay $2 million a flight for some extra data? Maybe. Although these things are comparatively reliable. These things are definitely quite reliable. They're more reliable than every other engine I'll be flying. So I'm not sure it makes a lot of sense to actually bother with this at all. But we have nothing else to do while we're waiting for the other stuff to unlock, so I guess we can fly it. Yeah, we literally have nothing else to do. So let's fly a couple. They won't give us that much data because the burn time is not super long. But if I made the burn time super long, then it would be bad. Oh yeah, let's estimate how much our tooling will cost. So how wide is this thing? Just over 2 meters. Ooh, I wonder. So it's 1.872. No. The diameters are just a bit wrong. All right, 2.05 looks about right. And how much would this cost? $21 million. Put a decoupler on here just to see what tank size I need. How tall is that? That's fairly tall. All right. All right, that's about the limit of what we can do. 2 minutes and 45 seconds on that first stage, because we're going to hit the 60-ton limit. But for sure, that's enough to place us in a low Earth orbit. That's definitely enough. Except for the fact that our atmo delta V is low. But I don't think with that time to orbit going to like, we can probably actually go to something like 120 by 120 if we time things right. It'll just take forever to fizz warp. The other thing I can do is add a coast. Like, let's see what... 3352, 5804. 20 meters per second we lose. It's not too bad. Oh, we only lose 10 if we have some ullage. Alright, that definitely takes us down some. How heavy is this? Alright, we could also save by using the Able Avionics. Could we? How heavy is this? This is 0.23, and that's 0.14, whenever I find it. 0.14. Yeah, so we could save almost 100 kilograms by switching avionics. Rainator, yeah, no, I know. We're set for the other pad. Like, I'm not concerned about that. That's pad 1, not pad 2. If you are really worried, we can do that, and then it will go away. Okay. Alright, so this is viable. And this is when procedural avionics would be nice, because we're at 59 tons, and we would need to be at 50 tons for that level of guidance. So like, how much would it actually cost? Never used these before. Whoa, that's not good. Configure, booster. Apparently we already own that and it didn't cost anything? I'll take it. Power required 1.65 kilowatts. That seems a bit much. But it does have enough battery. 1019.5. Oops, 1056. Over 1.65 is 640 seconds. So that's fine. Oops, wrong thing. And then these things come on the bottom. All right, and we can get rid of the electric charge on them. And just have a lot of peroxide. Breninator, I'm definitely making R7. That's about all you can make out of those, the RD-108 and RD-107 engines. I mean, you can make other things, but that's the obvious thing to do. And what Soviet playthrough would it be if it didn't have an R7? All right, let's put this stuff back in. Heh, we can actually have it as a cone. What is this? This is 2.05. Yes, this is 2.05. And top is 1.8. All right, I guess we probably shouldn't have made it a cone. We'll just leave it like this. And put it there. And then this needs to go out to 2.05, which will require tooling, and those will require tooling, and life sucks. All right, so that right there is perilously close to a moonshot as it stands. And certainly if we replace that with tank 3, we could do the moonshot right now, except for the antennas. Except also the battery life. All the other things. So yeah, we're not actually going to do that. But we have our LV, and we definitely have enough delta V to do check avionics. Avionics is fine. We definitely have enough delta V to do that other contract, except that we can't because we don't have contract slots. Also, why are we rotated 40? Are we? Yeah, why are we rotated 45 degrees? That was weird. That made no sense. Here's our second launch vehicle. It's not that bad, all things considered. Yeah, that sucks that we have to retool this. But them's the breaks. And this is going to be expensive as heck to tool. Yes, it is. And that's not cheap, but it is at least fairly fast to build. It's almost 1,000,000 funds, so I think it's cheaper to launch those crappy tanks than to launch our actually tooled tank. All right, so I think I'll save the booster tests for the next episode. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you real soon because it's the weekend, so I've got some more time today. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.